Hey, Phantomaniacs, welcome to the Spooky Month here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. And actually, to be honest, I don't know how spooky this whole month is going to be. It is fortunate that the Christopher Lee Dracula figure shipped from NECA, which I had completely forgotten that I ordered it from NECA because it popped up everywhere else. Because when I ordered it, I was like, oh, I don't know for sure if anybody else is going to carry this, or, that FOMO. And Christopher Lee is my Dracula. He's the Dracula I grew up watching. My grandmother introduced me to horror movies at a very, very young age, and we would be in Wilmington, North Carolina, watching the late night spooky show, whatever it was called, I don't remember. And Hammer horror movies were the ones that they showed all the time. Christopher Lee is the first Dracula that I saw. To me, he is and always will be the best Dracula. So the fact that NECA is pursuing Hammer characters, come on, Captain Kronos, it's actually right here, is almost a little talisman on my shelf. There is my Captain Kronos figure, along with, oh, come on, focus, Professor Grost, and Carla. I need NECA figures of everybody from Captain Kronos, which is my favorite vampire movie of all time. But anyway, this is Christopher Lee Dracula. Very, very exciting. And like I said, I'm so happy that it just happened to get here in time for me to kick off October. And October, as I said, it's going to depend when stuff ships as to how many spooky reviews I do. I know there's going to be a lot of G.I. Joe and non-spooky stuff, but that's just how the toys fall sometimes. So I hadn't even seen the packaging for this. I love the fact that it's this old school Hammer movie poster style, the lurid red eyes and blood dripping from the fangs, or from the single fang. Just a beautiful... The lighter colors are such a nice thing because all of the Universal Monsters figures are these darker, black and white packaging that just doesn't stand out in the same way. This is fantastic. This ultimate action figure, the way they design that, I'm absolutely in love with this packaging. Not quite to the point of wanting to keep one mint in box, but a little bit. Like if I see this in Target, I'm just this one, not like a whole Hammer line, but it would be nice just to have, because Christopher Lee's portrayal of Dracula is so special to me, just to have this one mint in box would be nice. Oh, the credits down here, of course, Hammer. I love this. I'm so excited for this. And I've got a 1/6 scale Christopher Lee Dracula that's phenomenal that I've had for years and years. But this is, this is the horror figure scale now. This is what NECA has made standard. So to have one to go on that shelf, especially with all the interchangeable parts and everything, this is something really special that I'm really excited about. All right, so let's go ahead and get him out of there. What I really should do... Well, but I do want to have one just as a I've got this mint in box. But I also just keep this empty box and stick it somewhere as you've got the box for it. And if you have not experienced, a nice shot of the dinner table, as it were. If you have not watched the Hammer versions of, basically their English versions of the Universal Monsters movies, essentially that's what they are. If you haven't watched them because you're like, well, I've got my Universal Monsters and I don't need another flavor of that necessarily, just go in knowing that it's something different and give them a chance, because they are just completely different experiences, and in no way do they replace what Universal did. They're just different versions of those stories I love how they did this. So the tie is molded part of the collar. Oh, this is going to work. I really like that. So we don't have this soft goods string like poofing out, or yeah, you know how soft goods do. That's brilliant. Very well done. And this fabric feels fantastic. It's got a weight to it, so it's going to drape really nicely, which is not surprising because at this point NECA have really mastered soft goods at this scale. But this is cool. This is a very nice piece. All right, let's cut through all of the little plastic tab deals, and I have forgotten to reload my trash receptacle. So I've got to just set all this stuff to the side. Oh boy. Sometimes it's hard to tell which tabs are connected to what. Okay, there we go. Gosh, it's NECA needs to take a lesson from Mattel about the elasticity of their plastic tabs, because NECAs have like no give, whereas Mattels are really nice. You can kind of pull Mattels a good couple inches away, and they just stretch out, but they also do their job of holding the figure in place, whereas NECAs are very, very rigid and have very little give. I like this sleeve piece on here, because in theory, it lets you just pop the figure right out without worrying about putting stress on the articulation or anything, because, you know, when you pull it out by leg, I don't like this. This sleeve is a great idea, because now you just pull it right out. Very well done. I like that. Oh my gosh, the NECA is just the best. They really, really have mastered what they're doing with this medium. It has gotten to the point where every NECA figure I buy is a delight. I can't remember, and look, if you guys are constant viewers, maybe you can tell me, but I can't remember the last time I was let down in a significant way by a NECA figure. Okay, off the top of my head, I think it was the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles April O'Neil, because of the way they did the paint on her knees. I think that's the last time that I was really significantly disappointed in a NECA product. And I understand why they did it the way that they did it. I get that. But, you know, it was disappointing. If you're interested, go back and watch that review. Okay, so here's our portrait. My gosh. I mean, look at where we are now versus... I'm trying to find the right range for that 4x zoom to look good. Sometimes it doesn't like that zoom. Look at where we are with the sculpt, with the paint. Remember the days where you used to really have to look at NECA figures in the store because you'd get an eye that was like, they had some strabismus going on? We're past those days now. I can't remember the last time I got like an application production error in paint. That's incredible. And of course, this is not the face that's going on him on the shelf, although I'd love to have this one as well. So the elbows, single jointed. Oh, well, let's zoom back out. But you've got a little better than a 90-degree bend on there. He's got the signet ring. Look at those hands. All the tendons and everything expressed so nicely in the sculpt. Oh, he's just getting ready to murder you. Oh, I love this. Gosh, I might buy another one of these just to have a couple of different portraits, because obviously this neutral portrait is a phenomenal Christopher Lee. The suit looks great. Look at the painted detail. Let's see if that 4x zoom will behave itself again. On the ascot with the little pen. in the middle there, the tack, whatever you call it. You know, as a gentleman, I should know. I really think the 2 just looks better. I don't know. Single jointed knees, which, I don't know how much you need. Now, you see a little flake there. That's just something that happens in those joints. And that actually was a problem that I had with the April O'Neil, is they paint the joints because they want the knees to match the surrounding material, but then it flakes off and you're left with this exposed, completely different color. Just pull that out of there. All right. And it's not a problem on this guy because he's wearing a black suit, and while the disc here is a little glossier than the surrounding material, I mean, whatever. At the end of the day, it must be recognized that these are still action figures. Got modern ankle joints, but they're not going to do a whole heck of a lot because of the cuff of the pants, and honestly, they don't need to. I mean, look, watch this movie and tell me exactly how dynamic he needs to be. Realistically, gosh, it just looks so good that he's tall. I wish I had another NECA figure sitting right here to do a comparison, because he is tall. He is standing just over 7.5 inches tall. He's going to be imposing on the shelf, even amongst all the other monsters. So we're going to do some swapping of parts here, but let's take a look at those parts first. We've got... Okay, I'm going to go with the mildly terrifying portrait first. Oh, look at the gloss on the blood. And those eyes, you can see the bloodshot eyes, which is a signature of Christopher Lee's Dracula. Oh, that's incredible. See, how do you not display that head with that gore all around the mouth? Look at the sculpt and the paint inside the mouth. I really feel like the 2 zoom, even though it's not as close, somehow captures that detail better. Oh, fantastic. But then, so this is terrifying. Evil vampire Dracula, terrifying head, until you compare it to out-of-control psycho vampire head. Obviously, this is the one you have to display on the shelf, because we've never seen a Dracula like this in figure form. This is incredible. Look at the open mouth, the way that was sculpted. This is incredible. I mean, this is absolutely the portrait I'm putting on. So I'm going to set this over to the side here. We have also got a pointing hand, pointing sea grip, if you will. A tight grasping hand. And then a right C grip. And those will interact with, we've got the candelabra or candlestick. Looks great. Oh, look at the detail of the melted wax. All right, let's try our 4 again. Look at that detail of the melted wax around the base right here. Really nicely done. And then you've got the more dramatic flaming candlestick. Really nice looking piece, and it's exciting accessory wise. As much as I want to put that on the shelf, I've got other plans for what I want this figure to look like. And then finally, we've got the shovel, which I'm going to zoom back out because, I mean, yes, it's incredibly well done. It's a very specific, unique shovel. Look at the dirt. I mean, it's crazy that they went to this much effort to make Oh, whoops. I don't know if that was a little dog hair or what. There's much effort to make this unique looking shovel. It's wild. It's a great accessory piece. I'm not putting it on the shelf, but it looks really good. Okay, so now let's figure out what he's going to look like. We've got to put the cape on, obviously. Hopefully this head is going to pop off as easily as recent NECA releases have. So it's got the old barbell and not the peg that they've been using on some of the other releases, which I really like. I like that thick peg as opposed to the barbell. So that's going to fit right there. Hold that in place. And let's get this crazy psycho vampire head on. There we go. Pops right into place. Look at that. Oh. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The cape hangs, just the weight and thickness of the cape looks perfect at this scale. NECA has really almost revolutionized how these figures work and the materials used. Oh, his hand. All right, let's set him to the side for a second because that hand is nice and flexible. So we're going to be able to get that candlestick. I don't know why I put it on this one. I feel like I really should have put it up here, but whatever. Holds it very nicely. And then the shovel. This hand also very flexible. I love that because sometimes these things are too tight. Shovel fits right into that hand. But this is, oh, absolutely gorgeous. I really hope that he sells, like, whatever metric they're using to determine how far they're going to go with more Hammer figures. I hope that he blows it away because I so very badly want Captain Kronos figures in this scale. And unfortunately, I think he may be kind of far down the line. But then again, maybe not. NECA's really good at kind of finding the most toyetic way to present things. So maybe he's not as far away as I think. But for now, we've got finally have in this scale, this format, an incredible Christopher Lee Dracula. And I couldn't be more excited about it. NECA is hats off. You are masters of the craft. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things, and until next time, buy what you like.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.